All right, and welcome back to Politically Incorrect. My guests are Arsenio Hall and BOBCAT Goldthwait, and isn't it great to be back in 1997?
Yes, where's that DeLorean?
Oh, look at this old home week for the comics.
It is.
Oh, remember when we were the
flashback.
young comedians?
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
Sad, really.
Oh.
Now I look like your Dorian Gray painting.
Oh, no.
You guys were talking about, you know, back in the day, my line on Rodney King was, if you ever see me getting beaten by the police, put the video camera down and help me.
That's a great joke.
Now it'd be the phone, but,
Right.
you know, they're bringing in the new millennium.
But you have kids, right?
Yes, yes.
And you have a kid? You know, somebody I know who as a kid said, you know, now that I have a kid, if a guy was driving 100 miles an hour through my neighborhood, I would want the police to wail on him.
Wow.
Well, I mean, kids change you.
Yeah.
Well, if I didn't like my kids.
I'm just saying, that's what somebody said.
That's what somebody said.
I just thought that was interesting from the people with child perspective.
I remember the first time I saw the video, I was like, that brother must have done something. You know, because they were whipping his ass so vehemently, you know? It was like, what, you know, I couldn't believe that he hadn't done anything.
Well, he did drive through a neighborhood.
He was going fast.
Yes, he was going fast. I agree. I agree that does not justify beating a man
he's
on
not
the
like,
ground.
just give me the ticket.
You had some involvement with that, did you not?
Yeah, it was very interesting from my perspective, learning at the foot of a black man about black people.
Colin Powell.
Yeah, especially about the history of black people in our country, which is not a sterling history. And to have this happen, and to have George Herbert Walker Bush, then the president, of course, turn to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Powell, and say, we need to do something. We need to federalize the Guard out in California. We need to do something. We need to restore order and so forth. And Powell said, wait a minute. Let me, Mr. President, give you some facts. And they had a really good discussion, and Bush stood down.
Oh, that was the old Republican Party.
Yeah, that was the old Republican
They listened
Party.
to facts.
Hey, Bill.
Oh, that is a quaint notion.
Hey, Bill, could I ask you, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Colin Powell. What did you learn from him about black people and their history that you didn't know already?
I learned that I had such a void in my historical knowledge of this country from its colonial period to the World War II period that I was ignorant. And he put me in the books, and he put me with the people. I interviewed over 750 World War II veterans. And I kept asking them over and over again, why? Why? Why would you come back to a country that treats you like it does? Why did you fight for this country? And I got the same answer every time. It's my country too. And one day it might live up to its beliefs.
Okay. Here's a question for you from M. Spiragos. What advice would you give a potential candidate who confides he has had an extramarital affair?
Don't admit to it. No, I'm kidding.
Shut up. Is that that's the advice?
Always go to the Eddie Murphy Shaggy thing. Wasn't me.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Remember Shaggy?
Yes, wasn't me.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, just whatever you do, don't lie about it. If you get caught, you've got to fess up. That's the first thing, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Because they'll always find out.
If you were John Edwards, would you have fessed up?
At what point? I mean, he had so many opportunities.
Yeah.
But yeah, he should have, once he got caught, yeah, you come out. Someone's always going to talk. I promise you, there's always someone who's going to talk.
You know what we don't have very much conversation in this country about? What a great family man we have in the Oval Office right now.
Yes.
I mean, you know, with Barack Obama, there's no honky tonk. There's no side stories. There's you know, yeah.
You never have to talk if you get rid of the honky. You know,
there's no garbage. There's no crap. I mean, he's
he has to be the Jackie Robinson of politics, as I always say, because if he makes one wrong move, this experiment with the black president, as we were talking about, is over.
if there had been a Shaquita someplace on the south side of Chicago,
But do you think? But do you really think that the people that President Obama motivated back in 2008? I mean, the youth vote came out. I think a lot of young people didn't see color when they voted for President Obama. I think there were people that did, but the group that he motivated, and this is why the Democrats got behind him instead of Hillary, seriously, because he could bring in a whole new generation of young people. And get them into the political process where they thought demographically Hillary really couldn't do that.
And that's the problem with the Republican Party, is that they're not embracing change, and they're not getting younger people in that are much more aware and much more
outside
tolerant.
of the wealthy, you don't want anybody. You don't want women. You don't want the young people. You don't want students.
But if I get back to the question, I mean, conversely, I mean, Sarah Palin famously at the convention had a pregnant daughter.
Yeah.
You know, or I guess was she pregnant?
She lost.
She had the baby.
Newt Gingrich
Or no,
didn't
the
win.
girl was with child.
Yes.
Okay. We cannot
By the way,
really
in
picture.
the ghetto, in the barbershops, it's like, you know that's Sarah's baby, bro. You know, but
Oh, yes.
I just got to
Oh,
keep you in touch with the barbershop.
But conversely, can we really, even in America, picture if Barack Obama had the similar situation, if his daughter was pregnant? I mean, it just is inconceivable that America would accept that as they did with Sarah Palin. So that's so much for your post-racial America, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You know, President Obama said the kids are off limits.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
But
he made
we're
it
also
very...
just used to seeing hillbillies pregnant. It's not that weird.
That's right.
It's really,
That's so true.
you don't even see it, you know?
That's right. That's right.
There's an Uncle Dad somewhere.
Right,
in that gene
exactly.
pool.
It's
One of the
they were
reasons
good.
I wasn't going to vote for Jesse, because I didn't want a first lady and a first baby's mama in the White House, you know? And you know what he was going through
Right.
at that time.
Right, exactly.
So Obama, I'm
Right.
incredibly proud
That's
of
right.
his past, his present, and I'm looking forward to his future.
Right.
I am too.
Okay, Colonel Wilkerson, are you concerned with neoconservatives' resurgence in the Republican Party and the calls to attack Iran?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see some of the same people making some of the same statements. They're even reading off the same sheet of music, John Bolton and others. This is another war in Western Asia for the United States would be catastrophic. And the president, very bravely, courageously, defying people like John McCain and Lindsey Graham and other stalwarts of my party, has started down a negotiating track that has every reason to succeed if people just let him do it.
Isn't it funny that, in a way, the Obama method is sort of the opposite of the Powell doctrine, which was overwhelming force?
Decisive force.
Okay, but Obama seems to use the least amount, like to get Libya, to get Gaddafi, $1 billion, as opposed to $1 trillion to get Saddam Hussein. The Somali pirates, Newt Gingrich said, let's invade. No, a couple of snipers took him out, drones, you know, the Bin Laden raid. He seems to do what Mitt Romney loves in business, be super efficient.
Yeah.
I won't dispute that, but I will say that that's a dangerous road to walk down if you're not closing the door. And what I mean by that is Libya is still a huge question. Afghanistan is still a huge question. Iraq is still a huge question. Right now, Syria is blowing up, and Maliki, on the one hand, is funding one side of Syria. Muqtada al-Sadr is funding another side of Syria. So this kind of delicate Democrat gradual response walking into Vietnam is not necessarily the best. I stick with Powell.
Gosh, back in the 90s, fellas, blowing up meant get popular, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we're going to go enjoy a reminiscence backstage.
Yeah.
Oh, this is over?
This is over. Yeah, we're way over. We're just having too good of a time.
This isn't even on TV.
Yeah, this isn't even on TV. This is the internet.
My publicist is fired.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Real Time with Bill Maher. Ask Bill and his guests your questions right after the show at HBO.com.